Hello everybody, good morning. In case you're working by the same time frame I am, which means I've only slept for 6 hours. Well, almost 7. Yay! Now, comparing Reason to Gothic 3 isn't that good an idea. So, you can compare Reason to Gothic 2 or 1, since they're in the same situation. Both of the Gothics didn't actually have a lot of money behind them like Reason. Gothic 3 was... well, Gothic 3 had money. It had a real developer, not a real developer, a real publisher. I mean, I consider Piranha Bytes to actually be real developers capable of taking out Bethesda at their game. But yeah, Gothic 3 had a real publisher and real money behind it, and it showed. It was vast by comparison, even to Reason. It was basically a lot more Gothic. A lot. If you were to compare it, Gothic 1 had basically had a small area, but well, I think it's about half the size of Reason. Might actually be just the size of Reason, not sure. But yeah, it had a decent amount of size for its time. It had 3 factions.
Going out, it's all crazy.
Vasily.
You're going to spend your whole life hanging around.
Speaking of,
Do you have an...
so yeah, it had 3 camps: the swamp camp, the old camp, and the new camp. It also had the 5 factions. You had the Templar faction, the old camp guards, the new camp guards, the fire mages, which were part of the old camp, and the water mages, which were with the new camp. In reality, it's still 3 factions. You could, but you know, you could join the old camp and then advance to the new camp. Each faction also had 2 sub-factions. Well, besides the camp guards and mages. Those were novices, or thieves, or beginners, call it. Basically, you had to be a thief before you became a guard. And if I remember correctly, you couldn't actually become an old camp guard, because of the way the main quest progressed. So you would become a thief in the old camp, or a novice, or even a mage, if I remember correctly, fire mage. And then as the main quest progressed, the old camp would kick you out and become hostile, and you move on to the new camp, where you could, I think, join as a novice, not a novice, a beginner or something, thief as well, rookie, whatever the fuck it's called, or skip related to being an new guard. It was more exciting this way. You had different armor, different robes, different spells, and joining the fire mages first was the only way to actually become a necromancer. There was a necromancer on the island. His name was Zardas. He was a weirdo and an asshole at times. He was also the only friend, one of the few friends our hero still had, or will end up having. Huh. Okay, so the swamp camp had, frankly, what I consider to be the best looking armor in the game. They were kinda like Buddhist monks and shit. They were also constantly high. And
what are you doing creeping about round here? Let me guess. You're lost, right?
Just taking in the sights.
Yeah, right. Just don't be thinking you can take me in. I'm not the gullible sort. I don't know you. Make sure I don't need to get to know you.
Have you had problems with the Don's men?
Of course. They're just waiting for the chance to snatch the town back from the Order. Take a look at that guy skulking across the street. Goes by the name of Tony. Isn't the sharpest tool in the box. He's been hanging around for days. Thinks I haven't noticed. He's scoping the place out, waiting for a chance to break in. Someone needs to curb his curiosity, but I can't leave my post.
Have you had problems with the Don's men?
Of course. They're just waiting for the chance to snatch the town back from the Order. Take a look at that guy skulking across the street. Goes by the name of Tony. Isn't the sharpest tool in the box. He's been hanging around for days. Thinks I haven't noticed. He's scoping the place out, waiting for a chance to break in. Someone needs to curb his curiosity, but I can't leave my post.
I'll sort Tony out.
That would be appreciated. He isn't a pretty sight to look at all day, although I would be interested to know what he's after.
yeah, the camp, swamp camp, was also high all the time. It was also wrong. The entire basic of existence was wrong, which you find out as you progress to the main quest. But they had some cool looking swords, best looking armor. However, the progression ends quite early on. Basically, you can become a Templar very early on, and then you can't do any more quests for them. They run out of quests. You could do quests for the new camp and advance on the main story, but other than that, it was kind of boring and uninspired. And it had swamp sharks. Of course it did. And then you had an extra last minute dungeon. Gothic 2 basically continued on the same thing. It was, however, bigger since it included about half of the map of the original game, without the swamp camp area. Maybe there wasn't enough time. And then it added an extra zone, about the same size as the original game, with the expansion, Night of the Raven. Originally, Gothic 2 had 3 factions as well. You had town guards and paladins. You had mercenaries, thieves and mercenaries. Actually, you have the mercenaries. The thieves was a separate faction, but not much you could do about it, and they didn't have their own armor. Oh man, my nose just went through. My voice went through my nose right there. Of course, you have the fire mages. The water mages will appear later in the game.
So, there are still new folks turning up here, eh? Well, watch yourself around the Inquisition.
What do you mean?
I mean, careful where you step, or you'll be up to your eyes in shit before you know it. They're crazy types, you know. Worshipping a flame.
Who are you?
I'm Edgar, head of the town guard. Or at least I was. until the Inquisition took over and pushed Esteban out. I wasn't his biggest supporter, I admit, but at least he was local.
What should I know about Harbour Town?
No, eh? Just watch your step. You never know who's throwing their weight about from one day to the next. And mind that harbour warehouse. Go near it, and people think you're stealing from there. Let's just say it makes the Inquisition twitchy.
What do you mean, twitchy?
Legal system here is simple but effective. Steal something, we beat the crap out of you. Hurt our citizens, kill our animals, we beat the crap out of you. And if you kill someone...
You beat the crap out of me?
Exactly. And then we kill you.
Simple, but effective.
Anything else I should know?
There's still plenty of trouble you can cause folks, without us making with the beatings. Of course, people probably won't talk to you after.
So how do I avoid the silent treatment?
Don't cause trouble in the first place.
What if trouble just happens?
Then that sort of happens to be your problem.
See what I say about the player character knowing he's a player character? He knows what I'm about to make him do.
There must be a way to soothe trouble over.
Apparently the mages know a spell. A joke spell, a jest spell.
Seriously?
Yeah. Supposed to make a person feel like they've just been told the best joke in the world.
And how does that help?
And they forget whatever was troubling them.
Where can I get this spell?
A mage, maybe. Plenty in the monastery. Bunch of backstabbing betrayers, the lot of them. Allying with the Inquisition. Could be one knocking around town somewhere.
You must be a trained fighter.
I swear by the sword and the crossbow. Sword for when they're close, and crossbow if they try and run.
Can you train me?
Train you? Sure, it'll give me something to do. But I can't be letting you have my skills for free.
Why don't you train the recruits?
Let's say that me and the Inquisition don't see eye to eye on the law. I see it as flexible. Why arrest every piddly little criminal? But the Inquisition don't turn a blind eye to anything. So they got one of my former guards, Arik, to oversee the recruits. He's a master and treats them decent too. Although he seems a little preoccupied lately.
Teach me some combat skills.
Yeah. Not enough gold, not enough learning points. Right, so where was I? Yeah. They had 3 factions, each with the sub-faction. Basically, not really a sub-faction, you were in that faction, you just had to advance to the next faction. You were a city guard before you were a knight and then a paladin. You were a mercenary before you became a dragon hunter, dragon slayer. And you were a novice before you became a mage. The thing is, it wasn't like the Elder Scrolls, right, where you were everyone treated you the same regardless of faith. Firstly, novices treated you like shit. They were kinda okay with you if you were not a novice before you actually joined any faction. But there were, of course, bastard novices. Same with city guards and, you know, mercenaries. When you become one of them, they started treating you like equals. The mages and the higher-ups would still treat you like shit, but the novices would usually go along, unless of course they saw you as a challenge to their advancement. And of course there was usually the Brognar of the mercenaries, town guard, city guard, novices, so on. Of course, when you became a mage or a paladin or a dragon slayer, well, not really a dragon slayer, mercenaries were mercenaries. Basically, the dragon slayer were the only one who weren't treating you like their superior. The mercenaries, I mean. Sure, you're a dragon slayer, but mercenary, the difference between a mercenary and dragon slayer was the armor and the willingness to go and hunt magical treasure from dragons. As opposed to, you know, skill and superiority and command ability. You can go. Of course, a paladin or a knight was far superior to a town guard, and they acted like it. And the guards started acting like that towards you. If you were a knight or a paladin, they go sir, and so yeah. Same with the novices. If you were a mage, you could get a lot of respect. It was mostly for flavor, but it was there, and it was nice. It felt good and made the world feel alive.
Well, you look like you've got deep pockets. And there's no better place to dig into them than Madame Sonia's House of Pleasure. We've got something to suit all tastes. And the girls there are talented, flexible, and lice-free.
Good to know.
Lies free.
What's your problem?
Had a few, have you?
Weird. You're missing the tits, so you can't be me mother. Do us both a favour and go screw yourself.
But I don't have a screwdriver. I think I can get Sonia away from that so I can read it. Maybe.
It's very simple, sweetie. You want something, you pay for it. And there's no discount for rugged and handsome here.
Oh.
What can you offer me?
You are in the finest brothel in town. If you can't find it here, it's not worth having.
You are also in the only brothel in town.
I'd like to hire the services of one of your girls. For the cell guard on the Harbour Quay.
Harbour Quay, you say? Take Annika. She normally works that area. Though she may not want to go with your cell guard friend. And that's her choice.
Annika, got it. At the Harbour Quay. Thanks. Do you also sell information?
If you have the gold, I have the knowing. Give me 10 gold coins, then ask your question. If I can answer it, sweetie, then I will. And if I can't, then I still keep the gold.
How does that deal work for me?
Believe me, there's little that goes on round here that doesn't come through my doors sooner or later.
Comforting to know.
But no risk, no fun, right?
I'm not gonna pay 10 gold on the information just now.
Tell me about you. How's business?
The Inquisition don't care about maintaining order in a brothel. So they turn a blind eye when our clients reach a new level of disgusting. Just take a look at that bastard over there. His name's Erickson. Drinks all day and hits my girls. My regular guards left town and Erickson won't listen to me. Dirty scum. Just ask my girl Gwen what kind of a monster he is. With the Inquisition ignoring us, there can be no justice for a place like this. We're stuck at the mercy of bastards like Erickson.
I smell a quest. Perfect. Ooh.
I can tell you're hungry for the kind of adventure that only Olga can bring. I see things. I know things. It's just Madame Sonia and